I'd be hard pressed to say, hey, there's one method. There is not. There's so many different ways. Just think about what you would do if you wanted to smuggle anything into the country. That's what the cartels would do. And to do it, think about if you have a wave of 10,000 people coming in this direction and you got to move a significant load, you're not going to put that load right on the backs of that group that's going into Laredo.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to do that. While all the resources are all piled up right there from Border Patrol and CBP to engage with these migrants, you're going to send it to another location, clearly.
Yeah. I've experienced that personally. Just that's how it worked on the borders when I worked as a border patrol agent down in Del Rio. You have a big group of 15. At the time, 15 would be an abundance for us. We'd have several agents go down there. That means the whole area is open. Strategically, they know how we work. They watch us just as much as we watch them. Right. They know that, okay, the agents are gone, boom, push. And some of those areas are within 2 minutes of runtime, they're into a house, a safe house, a vehicle, and that drugs or that load that they were carrying is gone. To an extent, at that time, there was a lot more marijuana. And so sometimes they'd get an 800 to 1,000 pound load gone. And that's how it was. It was the cat and mouse game. It was look left as we go right. Right. I know nowadays it's slightly different in the fact that the cartels are making just as much money on transporting human bodies and trafficking them as much as drugs. And I know also with the change of marijuana becoming legal in some states, there's been a shift in the drug, what is more expensive for them or what gives them a better income, I guess. And that would be things like fentanyl or methamphetamines and whatnot.
Right. So I was also a Border Patrol agent, Vince.
Really? I didn't see that in your bio here.
Yes, I was a Border Patrol agent in the mid-90s in Chula Vista. And so I remember vividly. I mean, Chula Vista wasn't really, it was more like a migrant smuggling location. It wasn't so much a drug trafficking location. You'd have to go up more east towards Otay Mesa and other areas or Calexico, and you'd see more drug trafficking. But I was Border Patrol agent for 2.5 years there. So I'm very familiar with how BP operates. And I do think that there's various methodologies, right? And there was a change, certainly with fentanyl. And I wanted to explain that to you because I know you're interested in how did the Chinese role really adapt and change? Well, clearly meth was their foot in the door in Mexico. There are many Chinese groups in Mexico today that are criminal groups in and of themselves. Okay? They are their own enterprise, and they are no longer Chinese Mexicans. They are Mexican Chinese, meaning that they are there for now generations.
Really?
Right? And they've been there for a period of time, and they do work with Sinaloa, CJ&G cartels. Okay? When fentanyl hit, keep in mind, fentanyl, the first time we saw fentanyl in the United States was in 91 to 93. And it led to a cluster of overdose deaths in Chicago and New York. On a street, it was called Tango and Cash, the movie. And immediately we were able to zero in on that and find out that it was chemists and it was a group based out of Ohio. We shut that down. The next time we saw fentanyl was in 2006 in the south side of Chicago. And that was a Sinaloa cartel. And we traced it back to a lab in Toluca, Mexico, shut that lab down, and then it went dormant for a number of years until 2013. 2013, we started seeing fentanyl precursors come into the United States, right? Primarily APNP or 4-APP, which are the precursors for meth production. You add propionyl chloride and you essentially have fentanyl. And then they would mix that with heroin, Mexican heroin, and make it the heroin so much stronger. It was called China White on the streets at the time. This was 2013, 2014. That is when we started pivoting into the Chinese role into synthetics. So we were late in the game, so to speak. We knew that the Chinese had a role in money laundering of Colombian cocaine. We knew that they had a role in precursor chemicals for meth production, but fentanyl really put the huge spotlight on the Chinese role on the drug trade.
Can we not do anything about that now that we know? Is there nothing that the U.S. government can do and say, hey, we're identifying this is connection to China. China, what are you going to do about it?
Sure. I mean, I think there's so much more we could do in China, and I think there's other geopolitical issues, obviously Taiwan, and other issues in regards to China and the State Department and where they see our relationship going.